You are absolutely right, Ricky. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining Real Talk with Ricky today. And I have my assistant, uh, Norine, and the topic that I'm going to talk to you today is confirmation, and that's one of the principles of self-determination.
Sure. So, yeah, we're going to ask people to stay muted. We will have time for questions at the end, but it is also being recorded. So, just to let you know that that's happening. So, tell us a little bit more about those principles of self-determination.
And the principles are support, confirmation, authority, responsibility, and freedom. And that's that's the five principles of SCARF.
Yeah. So, SCARF is what we use to kind of help us remember the all the words. Out of those five, this is the fourth
Yes,
workshop you've done.
this is the fourth, and the the other one that we're gonna do after we do confirmation is freedom.
That's the last one.
That's the last one. And so
Darn, Ricky, we missed our opportunity. We should have done it for the 4th of July.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone loves freedom.
Yeah, there we go.
So, right. So tell us a little bit more about confirmation. What does it mean?
Confirmation means nothing about me without me. And that means that you need to make sure that, that listen to the person. Well, first, let me back up. That means that you need to slow down
Mhm.
and, make sure you listen to the person and, listen. And I know there are times that when me and Norine were not together because we we all do we do a lot of presentations, some together and some were not together. But and I do give Noreen permission to to talk about me, in the presentation. And she does the same for me. But what I want everybody to remember is to always let the person know that I'm going to a meeting or I'm doing a presentation and I'm going to talk about you. And long as you let them know that you're going to talk about them in the meeting or the presentation, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you need to make sure that you ask.
Yeah. And so Ricky, when you're talking about this, you're talking about other people
Yes.
listening and other people hearing
What
so that what is it that you want them to hear?
I want to make sure that they one that the person is being listened to,
Mhm.
and that they're also being respected.
Okay, good. Yeah. And it's because they are involved in making decisions about.
It could, it's about them,
Uh-huh.
and it's their life that because they're living it, and they're living it every day, and they need to be they need to be at the table from the beginning until the end,
Right, right,
and help them make those important decisions.
right. Yeah. So when we first started talking about confirmation, it's kind of a hard word to talk about,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But some people can't even pronounce it.
No, oh, no, no. There's sometimes I
So
can't pronounce it right.
similar for our words. And
Yeah.
I remember Tom Nerney, your friend,
Yep.
talking about confirmation shows that when we show confirmation of a person
Hmm.
and involved in their life,
Hmm.
uh, that it shows up in a lot of different places. And it's hard to define, but you can feel it, right?
Hmm.
So let's talk about how things do feel. Uh, you talked about listening. So how do you feel when people listen or don't listen?
You, for me, I can tell when I can tell when that person's, not listening or whatever because they could be on their phone or they could
That happens a lot, doesn't
yeah,
it?
or they could be like whispering over to the next person that they're talking to and they're that for me that does not feel good. Because I've been asked to to do a lot of presentations and yes, but the main thing is that um I can tell when they're listening and because they're actually, they're actually listening and they're asking questions
Mhm.
and that's when you can tell when they're being attentive uh to me or whatever because you know they they're asking a lot of questions
Eh,
and they're being they can I can tell.
Yeah, right. And especially if it's not even a presentation.
Yeah,
It could be
at a meeting or
at a
whatever.
meeting, it could just be in a
Yeah.
conversation and then they pick up the phone
Mm.
or
Yeah.
start doing whatever
Mhm.
or walk away.
Mhm.
So when you see that,
Mhm.
how does that make you feel?
That makes me feel, excited and
When you see people uh listening or not listening?
it, I like it when they're listening because
Okay.
like I said, that makes me feel, that makes me feel good and they're they're there and you know and actually focusing helping me focus on the presentation or whatever.
On what you want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
How about when they're not listening?
It it doesn't it does not make me it doesn't it makes me feel horrible and it's not a good feeling because I know um when there's a lot of people we have to uh prep for all the presentations that we have to do or work or whatever and you really need to make sure you give that time that you're asked to do a presentation
Yeah, you're
or
kind of
talk.
focused on presentations because we're
Yeah,
doing a
yeah,
presentation now, but you also do a lot of
yeah.
meetings and
Mhm. And
conversations and calling people and
yeah, and that takes a lot of time, but
Mhm.
and it is important. So it's real important to be listened to, and also you got to remember to slow down and listen
Yeah.
and ask
So what did
questions.
you mean when you said not being heard is hurtful? It makes me shut down.
It it makes me shut down and like it's like it's it's I'm just gonna shut down and just not say anything because one I'm not being heard or
Mhm.
ask any questions or
Or people
whatever.
aren't taking you
Yeah,
serious. Yeah. Okay. So you that and so yeah, your advice, what do you want people to do?
I want you to slow down and stop and listen.
Yeah.
And you got to remember to make sure that they're being involved what in the conversation and ask them their ideas or whatever.
Yeah. And that is not always easy.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's
So
not.
so you came up with a couple of examples, right? And so we're going to start one and when Tom he talked about you know it's confirmation of your contributions
Mm-hmm.
in your own life,
Yeah.
but then also in a bigger way, the community and the lives and the future for people with disabilities. So let's kind of jump into a couple of examples you have here. And the first one you talked about was your annual planning meeting, because you have one every year, don't you?
Yeah.
Or several a year.
At our annual meetings, you need to the individual, he or she, they need to make sure that they, take charge. And the way that they can take charge is get prepared for the meeting. And when you get prepared for the meeting, I would say a couple of days or a month or whatever, what you need to do is give whoever you want to be at the meeting, you need to make sure that you give them 2 or 3 days and say, okay, yeah, please tell me which one of these days work.
Yeah.
And then after you do that, you find out from everybody, and then you start putting down your questions that you want to ask at the meeting. But you are the one that should be, starting the meeting and saying, okay, Larry, I want it's your turn to speak, or Tom or whoever.
Yeah. Or
But
help me with this, answer this
yeah,
question.
but you make sure that you lead the meeting, and you have the people there that you want them to be there.
Yeah. Well, and of course, so you're talking about the people, because you're going to have the people who are in charge,
Right.
right? So you're going to have your case manager and your
Nurse.
and yeah, the people that have to be there because this is a part of their job.
Yeah.
You're talking about all the other people that you want there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And that's a little bit different than I think most people think about.
yeah, that is different because you can decide who you want to be there, and if you want them to speak, put them on the agenda and say, okay, no, Norine, can you talk about this part of the meeting for me, or uh help me explain this.
Right.
But
Yeah, one of your examples is your transportation budget,
yeah,
right?
and
That's in your Medicaid plan,
yeah,
right?
and with my with my with the transportation piece, uh, that that's one of the most very important pieces of it, because I travel a lot for work, and so I have to make sure that I have enough hours for myself and my staff.
Right, right. It's actually covering the what you pay your staff
Yeah.
for when they're driving you.
From
Yeah,
place to place.
I thought about this when you were talking about it because I think it's so unusual, and the reason why it gets challenged is because it is pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
And the a lot of people who are on Medicaid just don't go anywhere. They're in programs all day. They may be in some services, but a lot of it is in programs.
Yeah.
But you're out, you're doing your work, you're doing your community involvement, you're doing, all of your active daily living stuff.
And that's important too. But you got to remember to, because we're part of the community too. So
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
That's that's very big too. So
Yeah.
you
Well, it seems like if you're different, you get picked on.
all the time, all the time.
But yeah, the planning for it, being a part of that, and because even starting in school,
Yeah.
people with disabilities, young people with disabilities, they get started on those annual meetings, and so how do they have a voice in decisions made about them?
And they need to make sure they you need to speak up and say, okay, I would like to do this. Can you assist me with this, or can you help me out with this? And make make sure that, make sure that they're being listened to, and so ask them how can you support them in doing uh doing this task,
Mhm.
or what do they need to do this job piece or whatever.
Very good. Very good suggestions. The other, whoops, I'm not sure what I did here. The next one is, there we go. I'll just do it this way, make sure. So here's another example that you gave us the other that we looked at, and you're actually and this was you were a member of the State Redesign Advisory Committee.
Yes.
And so have you always been involved in committee work and state committees, and or how did that, has it always been the same? How did it feel?
No, actually when I was first asked to be, on a committee or whatever, um, I felt like I was a token. And the reason I say that is because they uh they they needed a person they had to have a person with a disability on that committee. And at first, when I first started out, I I thought that, and the reason I say I was a token is because they needed a person with a disability to fill in that slot.
Mhm.
But now that that I've
So you weren't necessarily listened to, you were just filling a slot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now that I'm asked to, sit on committees and stuff, I'm I feel like that one, I I'm being listened to and I've been heard. And you should always ask them to give you the the materials like 3 weeks or 2 weeks in advance, so I can have the support to go over the parts of the meeting that's about the meeting and stuff. So I have enough time so I can have somebody help me go over the material and all of that. And if I have if I have any questions, you need to make sure that you have post-it notes or it on a card, and have your highlighter, and highlight and say, Ricky, here's the part you said that you want to ask this question.
Mhm.
And so
So yeah, get a chance to review it, look at
mm,
what's important to
right.
you. Right,
Mm,
right. So yeah, and so you had a couple of you have Ginger who was supporting you and
mhm.
going reviewing the material, but Linda actually served on the committee with you.
Yes.
What did that feel like to have another person on the committee that helped you? What did she actually do that helped?
She, what she did was, we uh we went over the agenda for the meeting that day, and say, okay, I can take this part of the meeting, uh, and you can take the other. We would tag team with each other, and we would take certain parts of the meeting
Yeah.
and work it out that
Work
way.
it through. Yeah, yeah. So if I recall correctly, Linda actually became chairperson and you became co-chair.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but you were in the leadership position,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I was being part of that meeting, and also not just that, part of you know you know asking people, okay, can you slow down? And this person, they may have this question, so that made me feel good.
Yeah. Well, and what that says to me is that, and what we forget sometimes is if something is being talked about and we don't understand it,
Yeah.
then it's likely that
It,
other people don't understand it
true.
either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so So your comment is be prepared. It's the same as your personal meeting. Be prepared
Mhm.
and then also be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
make sure people are listening. That word, that listening is really important.
Mhm.
Okay. So we got a few more minutes. So tell me a little bit about this. It was a slide that I think you decided to include, and this is an example of that involvement of having that confirmation of people with disabilities and making decisions about the future.
Yeah, and for this, I actually have a bill in my name, and it's the Ricky's bill. And with this bill is to help the students to uh to
The
help
transition,
to
yeah.
yeah to help them transition into into the community, and have the same opportunity like I have
For work,
for work.
yeah.
And
Yeah, well, when you were a student,
yeah.
you didn't have that opportunity.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
So, but your life has changed since you've gotten involved.
Tremendously,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this was really focused on young adults,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's focused on them, why they're in school.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So, but that an active involvement in terms of that future for other people with disabilities.
Yeah,
So,
because you know you know they have a voice. They have a voice to make a choice about their future, because they're the next generation that's coming up, and they need to make sure that they're involved, with the decisions that they make in their future and stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. And not just their future, but the future for all people with
Yeah, yeah.
disabilities. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and so this is it says hearing about supported employment, but this was actually to the Committee on International Relations and Economic Development. Um,
And this is uh uh this is when I was up there in Austin, and we were at the hearing, and this was on supported employment. And this I um I gave a testimony to on on wages. So everybody with a disability, that they can get paid fair wages.
yeah, be paid good wages. I
Mhm.
think it because Texas still offers sub-minimum wage in
Yes.
some places.
Hmm.
So that was a part of the disability. And supported employment
Yes.
is a
It's a huge piece,
yeah, it's typical wages, right? Regular wages.
but
And where do people work when they're in supported employment?
they can work at car dealerships.
Yeah.
Then
Anywhere, right?
yeah,
Any
they can work anywhere that they want to.
a typical place of business,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So supported employment is big and not a lot of people with intellectual developmental disabilities are using it yet.
No, no,
Yeah.
they're not.
And it's been around for a while, so we need to increase that.
Mm-hmm.
So last but not least, what is this all about? What is
Um,
lovely group of adults?
I help run my the Gulf Coast Self Advocate meeting, and I help uh my group to become leaders, and to make sure that that they have that they have a voice. And because we all have a voice, and we all communicate differently. We communicate all different ways and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's a lovely group, and they're all here from the Gulf Coast area,
Yes. Mhm.
and all in very different living
Areas. Yeah.
situations, right? Yeah. So there's so learning a lot about how to use their voice and how to run meetings, how to
Yep.
organize. Do y'all go to Austin?
Yes, we go to Austin, and we talk to our legislators. We because the legislators, they're in the offices every 2 years. So the next time that they'll be in their offices will be in January. It goes from January 5th or
Yeah,
something like that
through May. Yeah.
through May. So,
So what is one of the biggest topics that y'all talk about?
one of the big well, there's several, but one of the big topics that we talk about is, one getting a job.
Just getting a job? Yeah, the supported employment,
Supported,
regular jobs.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
supported employment piece. And the other piece would be that we talk a lot about is uh, living on our own,
Mhm.
in a community just like everybody else.
With the right supports,
With the
right?
right
And
support.
that's possible. You do
Yeah.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
totally possible. Cool. Those are great, great things to talk about and to share.
Yeah.
So I think we miss it. Okay. Well, so you kind of want to wrap things up. We got just a couple of more minutes. So
Okay. I want everybody to remember, one, to slow down and stop and listen, because I know there are times, that we get in a hurry and stuff, but we need to stop and slow down and ask questions and make sure that whoever we're talking to, that we pay attention and let them ask their question or say what they want to say.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that you're right in that is the awareness that when you don't do that, when you don't slow down, stop and listen,
Mhm.
and that you're actually being hurtful because
Mhm.
I'm basically saying to you that what you have to say
Uh,
doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, it does make you feel that way. But you know, we we all matter, and we should have the same respect for everybody too, because we're all human,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
we're all human, and that everybody's voice matters.
Mhm. Right. And I think that if we are to build a real community,
Yep.
everyone belongs and their voice belongs in the
Hmm.
community as well. So that's absolutely fabulous. And so confirmation, it really
Mm.
says that individuals is uh, an integral part
Yep.
of all the decisions that
Yep.
are being made. So super. Very, very good, Ricky. Thank you so much. I do actually have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that came in. So I have them. Do you want them?
I'm ready.
Okay, you're
Yep.
ready. Okay, so this one's from Mark. He is 19.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So this is sounds like his school meetings. When people ask me what I want, I don't know what to say. What do I say? How do I change this?
How do you change this, Mark? The first thing I would say is you need first you need to figure out what you want, and then write down a couple things, the things that you no more than three things. Then out of those three things, either pick one or two things that you really want to focus on,
Mhm.
and then after you figure that out, uh, see who you have uh in your circle that can help you on 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 that certain thing that you want to work on. Make sure whoever you have in your circle, and say, okay, can you help me with this task?
Mhm. So that goes back to the being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're prepared and you
Yeah.
practice, Remember Cody said would say practice, practice,
Yep,
practice.
yep, that's true.
Because
Yeah,
especially if you haven't been doing it all your life,
that's
practice
true.
is really helpful.
Hmm.
But that being prepared and then to be heard,
Yep.
to have the expectation that people will hear you
Hmm.
if you're prepared and you're ready.
Yeah.
So awesome, awesome. Was there any other questions, Nadine?
No, ma'am, that was it.
I actually have a question that Anna, who's not with us today, because but she did. We were talking about this with Anna, who's one of your self-advocate
Yeah.
group,
Hmm.
and what she wanted to know is, how did you get started advocating at the Texas Capitol?
How did I get started? Wow. Wow, that's been many, many moons ago, but I would say they there were a lot of, well, there's three ladies that were my champions, and one of them was Miss Betty and Miss Virginia, um, and Norine, because when I very first started this, we had the legislators come down uh, uh, to one of our forums, and one day one day they one of the ladies asked me, I asked them, did did you want me to speak? And they said yes. And believe it or not, I was shy, and I, I was nervous, but I I'm a it's easy to me now, so it you you just have to be one of the ones to get out there and step out of the box and
Yeah.
get out there and grab the rings and take it over and say, okay, let's go.
Do you get nervous?
Do do I get nervous? Yeah, but not as much as when I used to. But now it's like riding a bicycle. So sorry, but every now and then I do get nervous, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you again for another half hour of your time talking about an important topic, confirmation.
Well,
Yeah.
thank y'all for coming on, and
Yeah, thank you
uh,
everybody for being with us. We are going to talk about freedom
yeah,
on Wednesday, August the 5th.
yeah,
Same time, same station.
station. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nadine.
Thanks, Nadine.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.